Now, typically, I love to start out my videos with discussing the topic at hand, which makes sense. But today, I want to start out a little differently, honestly, because I'm a little embarrassed. And because I think some of you might come at me in the comments, so let's just talk about the elephant in the room and get it out of the way. Or better off, I should say, the two big caterpillars in the room that are sitting on my forehead. Let's just say I decided to do something a little bougie and I got microblading done. Well, I discovered two things in this process. Number one, microblading, it really hurts. And number two, it takes 2 weeks to heal. 2 weeks to come down, lose this dark color, and not look like big caterpillars on my face. So for that, I apologize because you have a few more videos of looking at me and wondering why are eyebrows so crazy. Now that I got that off my back, welcome to ProfitGuru. I am Cassandra, and this is your channel to talk about all things Amazon FBA related. And in this video, I really want to talk about some truths and lies with you, some misconceptions that you might have heard about Amazon, so that we can clear that up and you're going to go in with realistic expectations, especially if you're new at this game and you're just coming in. Because I truly think honesty is key, and I think a lot of people who talk about Amazon kind of inflate some ideas. So the very first truth that I want you to be aware of is, in the beginning, you're not going to be able to sell hardly anything at all. This is not like eBay. You cannot just list whatever you please. Amazon is going to gate you in almost everything. There's only going to be a few categories that will be opened up for you to sell, which is fine. All you need to do is scan products with your phone, with the Amazon Seller app, request approval, and figure out what you are approved to sell in. And this is where you start. For me, it was crafts and pet supplies like dog toys. So all you have to do is really prove to Amazon that you are a good seller, because they only want good, trusted sellers on their platform. So yes, in the beginning, you're going to be super frustrated. You're not going to be able to sell hardly anything at all, but start where you can sell those items, and over time, you'll see more and more become ungated and open up for you. The second truth about Amazon that you have to know is there is very little room for mistakes. You're going to have something called your account health. Your metrics are going to be decided by a number of things, such as how good are you at shipping products out on time if you're doing FBM? What is your return rate like? Are you getting violations by selling brands you're not approved to sell? Are you getting hit with any counterfeit claims? Because if these negative things are happening on your account, you will be shut down so fast, and it is very hard to get your account reinstated, and in most cases, you will never be able to sell on Amazon again. So this very important truth is very important. Make sure that you know the rules before you start playing the game, because there is so little room for mistake. And if you do something wrong, especially if it's a lot of things over and over, you're just going to be deactivated and shut down. The third honest truth about Amazon is that you're not going to grow super fast, especially in the beginning. So don't start this new adventure thinking you're just going to get rich in the first few months, because that is very, very unlikely. And that leads us straight into the fourth truth, which really goes hand in hand with this, is you're going to need capital. You're going to need money to buy products in order to resell them and start getting profit. Now, what happens is most people maybe only have $1,000 or $2,000 to start, and that's fine. But you're not going to get rich with just having $1,000 in inventory. So what typically happens is it's a slow scale. If you invest $1,000, let's say you find products that make you 100% ROI, which that's pretty not typical. Most products I want to see hit at least 50% ROI, and those are pretty good for me. But let's say you did get lucky and you found an amazing product that is 100% ROI. You purchase $1,000 worth, and after those sell through, you have your $1,000 back plus $1,000 in profit. Now you buy $2,000 worth of products and you keep doing the same, rolling it into your business. This is how you're able to scale if you don't have tens of thousands in capital up front. You're pretty much snowballing it and making it bigger and bigger month after month. So yes, you do need money to start. You don't need a super ton, but if you don't have a ton of money to buy products, then don't think you're going to get rich quick. That is just not going to happen. That is the honest truth. It is going to take time. The next lie that I want to expose about Amazon is that this is not a passive income stream by any means. Passive means you do something once, you produce something, and you never have to touch on it, you never have to work on it again, ever, and it's still bringing in money every single day. An example of passive income, true passive income, would be affiliate things like Amazon influencers. With that, I make one video, I put it up, and every time someone purchases a product after watching that video, I'm making money on. I'm not doing that video ever again, I'm not touching it or working on it, but it's still bringing me in money. That's passive, and that is not how Amazon works. Amazon is actually very hands-on, and the more time and effort you put into it, sourcing products, prepping products, making listings, bundles, working on your brand, all of these things, the more you put in, the more it gets you back out. So that is the exact opposite of passive. If you're just going to sit back and think that you're going to make money by doing nothing, you're not going to make money. The more time that you set aside, the more work and effort that you put into it, that's how you get more money back when you're selling on Amazon. So yes, it is time consuming, especially in the beginning when you're trying to figure out, how do I even do this whole process? What are the rules? How do I find products? How do I use software? How do I look at historical data? Very time consuming in the beginning. Yes, over time, as you start to build processes and get more comfortable, especially if you hire people to help you, like prep centers. But in the beginning, you have to learn everything and do everything on your own. So don't believe that lie if anyone tells you Amazon is passive and you really don't have to put a lot of time into it to make money. That is not true at all. The next truth that needs to be made very clear is that yes, there is a lot of competition on Amazon, especially for those products that are really obvious arbitrage products and anyone can get their hands on. For example, just a little while back, Mike's Hot Honey was taking off, and that listing had like 50 to 70 sellers on it, all competing for the sales on one listing. And then what happens is inexperienced sellers want to price tank. They think if they drop the price lower and lower and they have the bottom dollar price, they're going to win the buy box, which means they're going to win the sale. When in reality, that is not how it works. There are a lot of different metrics that goes into play when determining which seller is going to win the buy box. So yes, having a good price is one factor, but it does not have to be the bottom dollar price. It does not have to be the lowest. So don't be that seller who keeps penny dropping on that listing and bringing the price down so low that there's no profit for anybody. If you do that, you are just, quite frankly, not a good seller. You don't understand what it takes to win the buy box, obviously, and you are making it so that nobody is going to win on this listing. The only one that's going to win is the customer that gets the product for a really good price, and in the end, it's actually going to cost you money, not make you money. Now, how do you deal with all of this competition and still make money? Well, that's easy and hard at the same time. The easy concept is you need to be a little more original and think deeper. They say the riches are in the niches. Dig deep into different categories and go into those subcategories and find products that are not so noticeable. Things that not everybody's thinking about and getting their hands on. And you could even take it a step further by building bundles and creating new listings and trying to keep the competition off that way. Or you could even go into wholesale. Profit margins are typically lower, but again, you could bundle things together with these products and increase your profit. You can think of different brands and distributors that have products that they're not selling to everybody and that they can get to you exclusively. Or you could even build your own brand and manufacture your own products. I wouldn't recommend starting there because there is a lot to that. It takes a lot more time, effort, and money, and it is a lot riskier. But just know that it is an option. Yes, the truth is there is a lot of competition, but with being creative and sourcing effectively, you can combat that competition and find things to sell that don't have 50 sellers on them. The next truth that you should know, and one that you're probably not really going to think of, especially in the beginning, is that having friends teaming up with the competition, that is actually to your advantage. You can only find out about so many leads, so many good deals on your own. But by having a team, a few of you that are together in this and you're sharing leads with each other, that is definitely going to help you scale. And not long ago, I did an interview with a couple of friends who this is exactly what scaled their business to that next level. Teaming up with people that together they could divide and conquer. And because they live in different states, yes, they're competing with each other on the listings, but they're not competing with each other for the products. They're doing retail arbitrage and going into the stores, finding good sales and deals, sharing it with each other, and clearing the shelves in their areas. And then because these are listings that there's not a ton of people on, it's really only these people that are in this group together, and they're sharing the buy box nicely with each other because they're not price tanking. So get out there, start networking, start talking to people, join Facebook groups, get on Instagram, and make some friends and some connections that you can work together, work smarter, not harder. Team up with your competition and use that to your advantage. And the last truth that I want to talk to you about is actually a really important one, and it is becoming very evident month after month. More and more brands are not wanting third-party sellers like us to sell their products. That's why it's so important to know how to read a chart, keep a data chart, and understand what to look for when determining if a brand is safe to sell or not. What I like to do is pull up that data and look at the number of sellers across a long span of time. And what I want to see is there's a steady number at all times. If the number of sellers is going up and then boom, it drops down, and then it goes up again and boom, drops down, that's a big indicator to you that the brand is issuing violations and kicking people off of those listings. You want to avoid those. Like I mentioned earlier, a big truth is there is little room for mistake. So if you receive too many of these violations from brands saying you're selling their products and you do not have permission to do so, you're going to be shut down. But I'm finding that brands that I used to sell last year, now they're not safe. And this is happening literally more and more every single day. Because there are some sellers on Amazon who do sell inauthentic things and get away with it and don't sell things the right way. Brands don't want to take a risk with us. They want to make sure that their brand stays having a good reputation, and therefore they don't want other people selling the products. So it is becoming harder and harder to find safe brands to sell, and eventually it might come down to having to reach out to brands directly and getting their direct permission to sell their products, not just ungating them with using an invoice from a distributor. Because this is a truth that a lot of people think, and it's actually a lie. Just because Amazon says you're ungated and that you can sell that product and sell that brand, that does not mean you have permission from the brand. That just means Amazon's allowing you to sell it, but them telling you that you can sell it and the brand saying, yeah, you have permission to sell our products are two separate things. And a lot of people come at me and say that. What happened on this listing? I got kicked off, but Amazon approved me. They said I'm ungated. That doesn't matter. You need to look at that brand's historical data and make sure that they're not kicking people off, that they themselves actually want us selling it. So don't think the research ends when Amazon gives you permission to sell that brand. Now you need to see if the brand themselves wants you selling their products. And there you have it. Those are the 8 truths that I think are so important to expose so that you're not believing any lies and you're going into this journey knowing exactly what to expect. Let me know down below which truth was the most fascinating for you to hear, or maybe one that you did not expect. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me and spending time here. If you're not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel because only about 30% of my viewers actually subscribe. So if we could get that number up, that would mean so much to me. And it helps us to keep producing this free content for you guys. So if you love our content, go ahead, hit that like button, leave me that comment down below, and make sure that you're subscribed. That's it for this video, and I'll catch you next week. Yes, with my big bushy eyebrows still with me.